Welcome back to Homeopathy at Home with Melissa. Hey, Melissa.
Hey, Bree.
So today we get to do a little episode for you guys that's really special. It's a teaser into one of the most transformative tools and probably the most requested to learn about in homeopathy, and that is constitutional prescribing.
Yeah.
So whether you're a parent and you're trying to understand your child's shifts in behavior, or a practitioner wanting to go deeper with your chronic cases, hopefully this episode will be helpful. And our goal is to give you a sneak peek into the wisdom behind constitutional prescribing, how to get there, the structure, and the beauty behind the layered healing using homeopathic remedies.
Yeah. So this is going to be a really short episode because, we did a full constitutional prescribing podcast episode a while ago. But even that podcast episode is not a complete learning
Right.
of what you can do. I mean, it's so deep. So I wanted to come again and just do a little bit of explanation into what constitutional prescribing is and talk about the layered thinking and just also invite you to join the inner healing circle where you can be a part of the live teaching if you catch this episode before the live teaching happens. If you catch the episode later, it's recorded and it's in the Inner Healing Circle. So, the Inner Healing Circle is where you get access to all of my courses that I've ever taught and all the courses that I'll ever teach. I add them there. And it's got a lively, amazing community. And we're both in there just having community, and it's so fun. So, let's talk about what constitutional prescribing is. Then we start with the basics. What is a constitution? And so in homeopathy, your constitution is your core. It's your genetic blueprint, your personality tendencies, your morphological structure. So your hand to palm to finger ratio. I'm going to teach all of that in the class in very much detail. Your general susceptibilities, think of it as your factory setting. So it's what you were born with. Dr. Samuel Hahnemann spoke of miasms or inherited tendencies towards disease, and I have a miasms course in the Inner Healing Circle. Later, homeopaths like Antoine Nebel, Isiaga, and Dr. Robin Murphy expanded on this, adding the idea of layering. So, how one remedy state can be laid over another, and how true healing involves peeling back those layers to reveal the core. I often talk about this when I talk to new clients, and I explain we're peeling an onion. So, that's what constitutional prescribing is all about. It's not just treating symptoms, but getting to the root of who someone is and supporting them through every phase of their life.
So I already find myself thinking of questions, conversation topics. We get questions on this a lot. So those are the things that we will discuss in the inner healing circle because it is really deep. So I'm already thinking, I'm excited to talk about this some more. Um, so let's talk about why most chronic cases do need that layered thinking approach. And this is something I've seen in, I mean, if not every chronic case, most of them, a vast majority, and I would think the same for you, Melissa, is
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
never just one remedy. So let's say a child may start out as a textbook calc carb or calcarea carbonica. That's slow, methodical. They might like eggs, very structured. So they start there, but then they have a scary experience and now they're clingy, weepy, never thirsty. That would be a pulsatilla layer on top of the original calc carb core. So that is one very simple example. But in the course, you're going to walk through exactly how to identify those transitions, what we call etiology, and how to know whether you're dealing with a constitutional layer or an acute episode or a recovery remedy to bring the body back into balance after an illness or a trauma.
Yeah. So, some of the tools that you're going to learn in the course, the full course, I believe it's 10 modules. And we're going to take 2 modules per week when we meet live. We're going to do 2 modules per week. And so some of the tools you're going to learn are that you just don't, well, I'm not going to just throw theory at you, right? And this constitutional prescribing masterclass is really what it is. We're going to take our time and go through this and really learn it. You're going to get visual aids comparing the top constitutional types, layer flow diagrams to understand how a remedy state shifts over time, morphology guides to help you read faces, hands, and body types, case study worksheets to help you map out layered cases for clients or your own family, interactive matching games and quizzes to deepen your remedy knowledge in a fun and engaging way. You're going to learn how to use this in everyday life, not just in a clinical setting. So imagine knowing how to support your child through emotional changes, growth spurts, or recovery from illness without scrambling for remedies. That's what this course is all about.
Okay, I have never wanted to go back to school until I'm hearing about this class. This stuff gets me excited. Um, okay, so a real life case teaser. So this is maybe an example of what you are going to work through in the course, which rabbit trail as I do. This was the type of work that helps me learn so much in your mentorship course. This is what was helpful. Working through what does this look like in my actual life? How do I do this? Because, like you said, there's so much theory out there. Like I read the idea, but I don't know what that means for me and my family. So here's a quick example of what we'll explore in the case study portion of the course. You have a 6-year-old boy who looks like the classic carb constitution, but after a stressful separation at the store, his behavior shifts. He becomes clingy and emotionally sensitive. Over time, his food desires change. His susceptibility to ear infections increases. Now he matches a pulsatile state. So similar to what I mentioned before. You're going to learn how to take that case. So even know how to ask the questions to get to what I just told you. Identify the layers and treat what's the most active today, but without losing sight of that core blueprint for that little boy. So that approach isn't just what remedy fits right now. It's about understanding the narrative arc of healing. And once you can do that, it really changes everything.
True. And this is why, so this little case teaser, it's real life case teaser, real life case. Um, that little incident, two things quickly. Number one, in the event of a shocking or stressful separation, between or for anybody or accident or whatever, this is why I say you need to take a remedy, take aconite or Ignatia or arnica, whatever fits. Because had this little boy gotten aconite, he could have we could have prevented this whole change.
Whole layer.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. And so also as parents, you see what happened here. Um, he became clingy and emotionally sensitive. And then over time, his food desires changed. So these changes come about sometimes really slowly where you don't even recognize it. And all of a sudden, one day, you're like, what? Where's my happy little free, fun loving child that used to be? Remember when he used to be so happy and just free and didn't worry about things? And now he does. So you kind of might not see it happening in the moment. And then all of a sudden, they're in a pulsatile state. So,
Which is why, I mean, when you're taking a case, don't you think I see people have that connection when we're talking through something, and we'll talk about that and ask, like, well, when did this start? When do you remember this starting? And they'll say, oh, this happened whatever time. Or they'll just talk and I'm like, oh, okay, so this sounds like it was about the same time as this. And they'll then put it together. So understanding that sometimes it does take an outside person, I think, when you have so much going on. But it's really incredible to see the links when you go back like that to where some of those started.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love seeing the lights come on when I'm talking to a client and they say, that's when it started, you know? So one of my favorite parts about teaching constitutional prescribing is showing how homeopathy touches not just the body, but the soul. And so we're going to talk about emotional healing, how trauma leaves layers, just like with this little boy, and how even our spiritual walk can affect and be affected by our health, and vice versa.
Hmm.
Your spiritual walk can affect your health. So, just it really depends on where you are in your walk and your beliefs. So, how partnering with the Lord through prayer and reflection can help us recognize the emotional blocks keeping us from full vitality or health. These are some of the things that I love to integrate, and of course, are going to be integrated into the course. It's what does this look like spiritually, and how can we pray into this and be healthy?
Yeah. Okay, so who is this course for? This course is for you if you are a parent who wants to go deeper than acute use of remedies. You're a student or a practitioner wanting more confidence in chronic cases. Maybe you're somebody who has seen remedy after remedy work, but feels like it's temporary or those remedies, stop, quote unquote, stop working. Or if you're really just ready to understand yourself, your loved ones, the circle that you're in at a deeper level. So, pretty much anyone. This course will help you move from scattered guessing to systematic confidence. So, instead of thinking, what in the world do I try next? To, I understand what's happening here, and this is what I can do about it.
Yeah. So I want to personally invite you, as you're listening to this, to join us inside the inner healing circle, where you're going to be able to be a part of the live teaching of constitutional prescribing. Again, if you catch this before we actually teach it live, if not, if you see or hear this later, then it's recorded, and you're going to gain a lifetime access. Lifetime as long as you remember. The membership is $35 per month, and it includes all the courses, like I already said. And then this specific course, the Constitutional Prescribing Masterclass, has 10 modules, printable worksheets, remedy visuals, and case studies. Plus, when you join the Inner Healing Circle community, you're going to get access to live Q&As, at least three per month meetings where you come and ask whatever questions you want, and I'm there. You'll get exclusive bonus content and a supportive space to learn and grow. You can go to join.melissacrenshaw.com, and you can join anytime. And then remember that true healing isn't about fixing symptoms, it's about supporting the whole person layer by layer. So I hope to see you in the inner healing circle.